What's going on, guys? Today I am doing the Stanley Parable. Now, I have played this game before, so we're just going to get as much done as I can. And I'll try to remember to speak. It's currently 16:25. Let's go. Let's begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
I have
427.
never actually
Employee
played
number
just my own
427's job
save
was
file.
simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked,
Pretty sure it's
frozen
like a find
solid,
out then.
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What does this say? I hate Mondays.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't want it. Ooh, go stuff. Some nice leaves in this office. Yeah, what I was saying earlier is that I have never played on my own save file. I've only played on where people are mostly far into the game. So I know most about later stuff, but nothing at the beginning.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes,
I get a
truly
drink.
a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a
Cold
few
drinks
moments
will be
here in this
cooking afterwards.
immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
I think my
Stanley
favorite's
simply
probably going
stood
to be
here,
purple.
drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm seeing a big red button. Oh. Let's go then.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
I just shit
No,
myself,
no,
bro.
no, no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Scared.
It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Script.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
No. This way it is.
No, 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 no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then.
Do you?
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Well, this is confusing.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
What if I don't want to? Is that an option, Mr. Narrator?
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
God, where am I? What is this?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Well, I guess that's
put in
been
a lot
Stanley
of hard work,
Parable.
and it really paid off. So, good job.
Is that it?
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Right.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
For a man who wrote the
Here's a
story, you
thought.
sure as hell don't
Wouldn't
know where
wherever
you
we
are.
end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office,
I don't think I
is
can run
this
on a
office
walk,
in
mate.
fact
Can't
the
follow your line.
skeleton of my own
What is
relative
going on?
experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
This
Well, I'd like
line
to
is...
apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
No. Copyright. Why not have to go the wrong? It's loud. It is actually
Cut the
so
music.
loud.
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
What
won't
fern?
want to miss anything.
What fern? This one. It's a very nice fern. I get the feeling he was just
Wait,
trying
what?
to distract.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Still missing the doors.
Jesus
Did we
Christ.
make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Well, I have been ignoring your line for the most part, or any opportunity I've been given. But line it is. Let's go. No, I'm not allowed to do that apparently. Oh, seems this is the only other way I can go.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
Hey, look, that's my
Restart.
number. 427. Okay. Now what?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're
This door
intelligent
is
people, right? Why
closing
can't we
and
make up our own
it's
story?
scaring me.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
I'm quaking in my
Ooh,
boots.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Of course.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
I want to play Mortal Kombat.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
Kombat in the
I'd
Stanley
also like to
Parable.
veto the line from having
Stanley
any
versus
role
the
in our
narrator.
awesome new story.
Hell yeah,
No
I'd
lines
fight the
or
narrator.
monitor rooms.
He
Just
is
don't
honestly
acknowledge it.
stupid.
We should be fine.
Don't even know where you're going. Wait, no, where we're going. It's all his fault. Just because you're stupid game.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
I
And
get
from
to make
here,
a
the
decision.
story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
I
And
don't
since
know,
the
will it?
answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Can I do
And the
it?
timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
It's a bit
I'm not
dark.
quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Remembered about something you can do.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
how interesting. Scared me again though. Jesus, I've been jumping all over the place.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
There ain't no one.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Well,
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
this is interesting. No. A business strategy. I love killing pandas. don't want to use this time to look at some of the achievements. I'm not sure what happens to the recording. But if it cuts out, you know, it is what it is. Okay, well I figured out the recording pause. Now I've got about 20 minutes of, you know, Stanley Parable for you guys, so I think I'm gonna leave it here once I've done
Stepping
this.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
Who's
orchestrated
under the
this,
desk? Who's
what
under the
dark
desk?
secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
You know, this game is like a horror game sometimes. It spooks me out at least.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Thank
Although
you.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Will I now?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I don't wanna.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral
What is
instant,
going on?
Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
There was a hole there, so I could kill myself.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless. making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I could do a mini video just exploring this place. You know, if the video gets 10 likes, I'll explore this whole place. But other than that, I'm good for exploring now. We've got a solid half an hour video for you boys. This has been Stanley Parable, I guess.